From Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium, it's our season opener on ICTN, a District 6-6A matchup as the Irving Tigers play host to the Marcus Marauders on homecoming night. Hello again, everyone. With Rob Willman, I'm John Nelson. Irving comes in with an overall record of 0-3, coming off a 42-22 loss to Dallas Kimball. Marcus, on the other hand, at 2-1, averaging 23 points a game and coming off an impressive 21-7 win over Waxahachie. A little different look this year for the Irving Tigers, a brand new coach and Coach Eric De Los Santos. And we're just about set. The Irving Tigers will receive and defend the north goal to our left with our season opening play-by-play call. Here's Rob Will.
All right, Mr. Nelson, thank you very much. Teeing it up is Matt Heffernan, the senior place kicker. A good leg, one of two kickers that Coach Atkins can go with during the course of the season. And this is going to go over to Scott. Scott takes it about a deep into the end zone, and he's going to the near side, and he's corralled inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line. And that's where the Tigers will set up shop. First down and 10, the first time that we have seen them on the air on ICTN. They are 0-3, looking for that first win. And they had a change in the starting lineups from the get-go. Coach De Los Santos told me, he said, look, we run a tight ship here. If the kids don't behave, they're going to pay for it, and that's going to be the case tonight because the starting quarterback is not going to play. Well, they pulled him off. He thought he was going out there, but no, he's not. They're going to start with the Wildcat. They're going to have Trayvon Jackson as one of the running backs as well as a quarterback, and Castaneda is the other running back, and they give it to Castaneda. He goes right side over the 15. Maybe 2 yards on the play. Don't know if Stevenson knew what was going to happen or not. He was out there, thought he was going to take off. The sophomore usually starts at quarterback, but he's going to have to wait. In fact, both Stevenson and Millen, the backup quarterback, both are being punished in this ball game. One will have to wait a quarter, one will have to wait a half. So they're going to stick to the Wildcat, and that's Trayvon Jackson there, number 22, who really is the man you've got to put a hat on if you're the defense for the Marauders. And he goes right side, pushes past the 20, and it'll be about a 3rd down and 5-yard play.
Irving comes in averaging just 9 points a game. The Marcus defense allowing 20 and over 400 yards, if you can believe that, with a record of 2-1. Over 400 yards, that's what they yield on defense. Mr. Stevenson, through the first 3 weeks of the season, not bad. A couple of touchdowns and 1 touchdown receiving.
He is the heart and soul of this offense. Again, the Marauders were going to key on him anyway, and now there's not an excuse not to since he's coming out of the Wildcat, and it looks like we have our first mistake for the Tigers. That is, appears that the right tackle, Nathan Elrod, the junior, moved before the snap, and even though we do have a new coach, it doesn't matter who's coaching. It's the same old thing. If you have mistakes like that, Mr. Nelson, in an offense that's struggling somewhat, you can't have a 3rd down and long.
3rd and 8's what they face here.
Jackson with the quick snap. He'll take it, go off the left side, breaks maybe a couple of tackles before he's corralled by Ethan Barr, the junior linebacker. They play a 3-4. Both teams, in fact, play the 3-4. And it's going to be 3 and out after that penalty against the Tigers, and they're going to have to kick on their first possession as Max Cabezos, the freshman kicker, wearing number 80, will be called upon to get the Tigers out of the hole a bit. Number 17, Alex Fontaine, he's a junior, stands at about his own 49. No wind to speak of, so we don't have to worry about that. Low snap. The freshman has to give chase and probably does the smartest thing you can ask, and that is just kick it out of the back of the end zone and take the safety.
Well, he had about 10 yards to play with, a low snap fielded at about the goal line, and he was outnumbered 4-1, so you're right, just kick it away and take the safety.
Pretty much a heads-up play for a freshman. You would see a lot of guys trying to field it and then pick it up and take off with it.
You'll see it right there. It gets loose between the legs, and no choice. You're outnumbered, so Max just clears it over the double stripe.
Problem is, it short-hopped him.
Yeah, tough one to handle.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with it after that. So the Tigers find themselves behind the 8 ball after a few minutes of play. We're just under 10 minutes of football here. As John alluded to earlier, this is homecoming for the Irving Tigers. A little early maybe in the season, but the Marauders and Flower Mound schools are kind of picked on for homecoming. I believe we have either Flower Mound or Marcus again, maybe Marcus for another homecoming game later on ICTN.
Marcus picked to finish 4th this year in the district. They're in with Hebron, Coppell. Last year they were in the old district with South Lake Carroll, Trinity, and LD Bell.
Bezos hits that one maybe 20 yards. And it's a fair catch at the 49 by the up back, Fontaine, who is set to take that punt before it went through the punter's hands. Nonetheless, he gets it at about the same spot. And the starters for Marcus offensively will get their first offensive possession, John, in really good shape.
39 seniors for head coach Kevin Atkinson. That 5-yard penalty certainly hurt Irving. The safety didn't help things any, but the short punt, and what a great place to start the opposition at the 49.
Marcus with the tight end, 3 wideouts, 1 running back, and that's who they give it to. Dinka, left side, 10 is going to come back. Got a flag thrown here on the outside corner. That's usually holding, and the Tigers will get a break on the very first play from scrimmage for Marcus and the call.
Number 66 of the offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
That is Michael Bonner, who tonight's referee, Jimmy Carter. Got any Jimmy Carter impersonations there, John?
Moonlighting as a peanut farmer on his day off. Jimmy Carter and Ray Gaston is the umpire, and the rest of the officiating crew tonight. Of course, the clock operator, the reliable Wally Banks.
All right, so it's first down and 20. Clock on the move again, and they just do a little swing pass to Dinka right-hand side. Couple of nice blocks on the edge. Dinka's got some space. Next thing you know, this cat could go 59 yards and will. And the Marauders are on the board with a touchdown. Hold everything, though, folks. We've got a flag over on the far sideline. 2 flags, as a matter of fact. And this one may come back, or it may be offsetting personal foul penalties.
Someone turned the wrong way. You always have the inevitable push in the back as they sort it out.
I don't know if Eric Guerrero, number 25, he had his helmet off. It appeared that he thought maybe he was thrown out of the game. He was coming to the near sideline. Let's wait for the official. You notice there, it looks like they had a hand underneath the face mask, underneath the gear. This could play into the favor of Irving High School. There could be a couple of breaks in a row, John.
Yeah, instead of a 59-yard jaunt.
Hands to the face on the offense. 15 yards, repeat first down. Number 25 does not have to leave for 1 play.
Kendall Petaway.
Well, Guerrero's number 25 for Irving. That's who he meant because his helmet came off. It was a byproduct of the penalty that was called, is the only reason his helmet came off, so he got a pass. They go from the spot of the foul, which was the 34 of Irving. So now it's just first down and 12 at the 49 of Irving High. They can't dodge the bullet too often. Dinka, right side, tippy toes over the 45, close to the 40. About 10 yards on the pickup for the senior, who averages about 3.6 yards a carry. One of 5 players on this roster who are getting the attention of D1 coaches. And you can see why, because he's so quick. Very quick movement with the feet. And another first down for Flower Mound Marcus as we're under 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Dinka had a good year last season. Over 1,200 yards of rushing, 12 touchdowns. He's 6 foot, weighs 180, and it's pretty much about 80% of their offense.
Meyer, crossing pattern, hits Brooks. Brooks, the other D1 player on the roster, and you can see why. Stiff arms his way inside the 5, almost makes an athletic move to score. They're going to say he went out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Marcel Brooks, who already has a couple of touchdowns to his credit. That was his 6th catch in the year. And every time he catches it, he averages about 30 yards a catch.
Well, 26 on that pass and run.
So it's 1st and goal. They go back to Dink, another flag, and this is a legal procedure called against the Marauders. So Coach Atkinson probably not too keen about all the turnovers his team have created here, penalty-wise. On this first drive, you know, it felt like they probably scored at least 3 times, and every time something bites them and they got to go back. So now instead of 1st and goal at the 2, it's down to about the 9, about the 8 or so.
It's our 3rd flag and right at 30 yards in penalties.
They seem to be pretty proficient offensively. I don't think it's going to hamper them. Dinka tries to move outside. Nice play behind the line of scrimmage. Well done by number 7, Jalen Hopkins, the defensive lineman.
Hopkins, one of 28 seniors, just finds the open space, has a little help, but is pumped to the turf nicely. And Trey Rogers also there. Trey Rogers, the outside linebacker.
First time a little line penetration by the Tigers here on the first series. 2nd and goal. They fake Dinka. Neusmeyer left. There's a wide open tight end into the end zone. Touchdown, 82 Gus Sarala. His 2nd touchdown on the year. And the Marauders make it look easy.
Yeah, that's a short 49-yard drive. The possession started at the Irving Tiger 49. A penalty pushed them back across midfield. But a nice 49-yard drive, 7:38 left in the opening period.
One of those trailing plays where the tight end starts right, trails from right to left. Extra point is true by Heffernan. And it's now a 9-0 lead. Watch the replay, John. He started at the top of the screen.
Neusmeyer on the bootleg rolls out his 3rd touchdown pass of the year, and you could have caught that one. I mean, so wide open.
Yeah, I could have caught it. Could I have gotten there that fast? There's the question.
Could you have held on to it?
Yes, I could have caught it. I could have held on. I don't think I would have been, A, that wide open. I would have been winded halfway through the route. So, I mean, just to be honest, but I feel like I could have caught it. Nonetheless, Marcus making this look easy here in the first quarter of play, and the Tigers need to do something offensively. First year for De Los Santos, the head coach coming over from Coppell, brought a couple of friends with him. One of those, the defensive coordinator, Devin Lemons, who he met in 2006 when they were both part of the Joe McBride coaching staff in the Frisco system. Offensive coordinator is Brad Lehman, who he had never worked with before this moment, came highly recommended, knew the guy, really feels good about his coaching staff, as that one goes out of the end zone or into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Said he feels good about the staff. What, about 6 coaches stayed from De La Torre's staff? Everybody else went on. Feels like he has a good mix.
Yeah, he's been pleased with the leadership and the trust that the players have put in him. And there's nothing like a district opener. I mean, you never know. You're 0-3 and you got this district opener on a homecoming night. Just need a good series here to begin this their 2nd drive.
Heck, they were leading, what, Kimball in the 3rd quarter.
7-6. They had a lead. That was a pretty good game.
Yeah. Again, if you just joined us, the starting quarterback now in there, Stevenson, the first series. They benched him for the first series. Now Curtis Stevenson is in there. But we've got a penalty flag, and this could be an illegal formation against Irving High. Let's see. Nope.
It's 5 yards. Remain 1st down.
Man, another penalty against Marcus.
Has 35 yards now in penalties in the first, 4.5 minutes.
Man, they may be running a bunch of wind sprints when the game's over at this rate. 1st and 5 again. Sophomore Stevenson, number 10, in the lineup. Goes left, not much there. John Brand, the senior defensive tackle, making the stop for the Marauders. 3 guys up front, Desgraves, Kapler, and Brand, and then they play the 4 backers. They alternate a lot in there. Brand, who played on the left side. Ethan Kapler is like the nose tackle, and he's the shortest one of the group. So they give him a yard. 2nd down and 4. Stevenson, a little out pattern, complete. Trey Austin, 4th catch of the season for Trey. Good enough for a 1st down. Like the move, like the throw. And the Tigers move the chains.
And their first down of the game. Austin out on the right flats, able to pick up the necessary yardage and keep the drive alive.
Stevenson now rolling to his left. He's not going to throw. He's going to take off. And he looks like he had some room, and then all of a sudden it closed in a hurry as one of those linebackers came up, and it was Gainey, 45, the sophomore. Also the free safety, Boomer Perry, coming up to make the stop. 2nd down, 6. De Los Santos said his guys have to stay in their gaps. They play gap ball. Means you got to stay in the middle. And there's a keeper by the quarterback. It's a nice lead block. Gives him a couple of more yards. Tyrick Johnson, number 6. I mean, the guy's not even 5'10" looking out there. And comes up and makes a nice little block to free Stevenson. Watch him, bottom of your screen, come out of the note right there, boom.
Yeah, they work well together. That's the 1-2 punch. Stevenson, and a nice handoff, and you'll see Jackson as a receiver. Here he is over right guard.
Nice 2nd and 3rd effort, 3 or 4 yards on the twist and turn. 1st down, Irving.
Tigers come in offensively, averaging about 156 yards a contest. Looking to snap a 4-game district opening loss tonight.
This is what they have to do. This is incomplete pass, tried to hit Austin again. They have to play ball control. We can see how easy it seemed for Marcus to move the football offensively, so keep it out of their hands. Move the sticks, move the clock, and try to get on the board and cut this lead down. 2nd and 10 as the incomplete pass stops the clock. Stevenson fakes again. This one's tipped around. Austin can't get to it, and it's an incomplete pass. And I believe that was 83 Brand again, John, coming off that left end. He's the tallest defensive lineman.
Gainey was also in the area, number 45. But, yeah, he's a load, number 83.
Yep, so Gainey was there as well, coming off the edge. See, they keep a couple of tight ends in for Irving to block. Gainey comes out of there and is picked off by Gainey. Gainey's got the sideline. If Stevenson can tackle him, if not, Gainey's going the distance, and he's in.
45 yards on the tip, right into the hands of the sophomore. Gainey, one of 7 sophomores.
Tyler Gainey was right in the right place at the right time, and a couple of back-to-back tip passes. Disastrous. The second one good for the interception return, and Marcus is on the board again. Well, after a couple of 1st downs and an apparent kind of drive for Irving High School, it stalls with the INT, the pick 6. Extra point is good. And it's now 16-0 at the 5:23 mark of the 1st quarter. John, the replay.
I believe that's Stevenson's first interception of the year, and they'll make it 47 yards on the return as he looks to escape one defender. There's the tip, and then easy pickings at the 48-yard line. Will be run down, but just a little late. Doesn't have a convoy, but he has the speed and able to get to the double strike before Stevenson cut him off.
It was 83 Brand, the senior that used his height, blocked the pass. Gainey was there to pick it up and take it to the house.
Well, not a good start. A safety and an interception, accounting for 9 of the first 16 points put up by the Marauders.
Well, the Irving staff knew that this was a pretty good team. They were really impressed with the running back. They kind of came in keying on him. But we look up, John, and 9 of the 16 points, not the defensive side's fault. And, you know, that's something that De Los Santos told me this week, is that every week There's one phase of the game that's let them down. Well, all three have let them down just in the first quarter.
And this is a Marcus team that lost 53 lettermen last year. They only returned like 4 on offense and 4 on defense.
And an onside kick. Irving right on top of it. I don't know if that was planned or not, but Irving was ready for it. And they'll get the ball at their own 45-yard line. So a nice heads-up play by Gabriel Cortina, the backup running back who had his head in the game. Came up with the onside kick and gives the Tigers pretty good field position.
You'll notice new helmets this year. The Tigers have the Tiger logo on the side. The gold helmets are back, but the new Tiger head on the side.
Like it. Like the look. The helmets really shine. They really pop. All right, first down. Jackson in motion. Stevenson goes left. Has a couple of guards out there to block, but he cuts it in instead of out. He had Ramirez out there and Navarez also out there. A couple of brothers playing on this offense as an offensive line. Sam is the right guard. He's a sophomore, and the other guard is his older brother, Chris. So it's second down and 9. You notice that the Marauders playing just a little soft. Now all of a sudden they come crashing hard on the corner, but there's Austin. Austin's got the first down, and that's a way to make them pay. Find the quick out and the quick toss. And they caught Marcus in a blitz, and they pick up a first down. Good job by Austin. Austin with a couple of catches already. And tonight's ball game. Beautiful night. It's not a typical late September, that's for sure. Going across the middle, got a man wide open. Johnson, 15, down to the 12. Stevenson hung in there tough. Took a pretty good pop at the end, but there was Tyreek wide open with his 7th catch of the year, John.
Able to spin away from a tackle at the 20, gained an additional 9 yards, and is finally planted by Espinoza, number 4.
One of those sophomores you were talking about. This time they go up the middle to Jackson. Jackson for a couple. I like the quick huddle after a big play because you know the other team is gassed.
It's a TCU offense.
Yeah. When it works, it's pretty. When it doesn't, you're like, what are you doing?
You're right about the evening, Rob. No humidity at all. It's about 74, just ideal.
Don't remember a September like this in quite some time. Stevenson keeps, cuts inside the 5. Corralled Barr, one of 2 or 3 down there, making the stop. Marcus saying, I've got the football, but there's Gainey, another sophomore. Here's the quick huddle. So it's 3rd down and 2. I think it's a 2-down territory, to be honest. Jackson, left side. He's got the first. That's all that counts. He's to the 1. And it'll be first down and goal. Player down. They're going to call time for just a second. Now time is back up. As coming off the field was Max Wallstad. Off the bottom of the pile. Jackson left side. No, the quarterback keeps, and he barely gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
A little unsure, but Gainey influenced Stevenson turning the other way.
Don't know if they were confused at not. The big guys come in, the goal line offense. 97, Richards.
And Espinoza, the senior.
So they got the big uns up front, as Keith Jackson would say. I'm not going to call them the big Uggs like he would, but.
You don't know them that well.
No. Did they go power? They got 7 seconds on the play clock. Jackson on the right side. He goes left side. He's still fighting, but there's not a lot of room. In fact, he'll lose a couple in the process.
They have to go wide. That's tough running from Ethan Barr. Barr, one of their leading tacklers from last year, had a close to 70.
Closing in on 2 minutes of this first quarter. 16 points already scored. And the Tigers trying to put their mark on the board as well before the break. 3 receivers to the near side. Coming in is Scott. Scott is to the left. And they're going to run the quarterback keeper. Left side, stretches. Does he get in? Yes! So with Scott leading the charge, the Tigers score at the 1:38 mark of the first quarter.
Able to answer the interception return by Gainey and put points on the board on a nice 55-yard march.
It was a short field, you recall, after Marcus tried an apparent onside kick that Irving recovered. Boy, a good pushback by that line. They did not block it, but the extra point is true. And the Tigers have cut this one after this play, Mr. Nelson.
Well, they did go wide, and he has right in front of him Scott, but it's all Stevenson. Stevenson able to get to the pylon.
I don't know. That looked like a good block right here toward the end, right there. Oh, on Espinosa. Scott did a good job flipping that cornerback down. And that really, I think, helped him get into the end zone.
Yeah, no question. Ashton Scott, a junior, leading the way, and there will be no shutout in the first quarter.
Well, that's got to make the Tigers feel good. Move the ball, move it about 55 yards or so. That one big play, that long pass, got him inside the 20. And now Irving has to find an answer to stop Marcus.
Well, that's just it. I mean, the onus is on the defense, and this is a defense that gives up about 26 points a game. So they knew coming in that they would be tested. Nussmeier and at times Tyson Edwards, and then you got the Hutcherson and Dinka to contend with, and a bevy of nice young receivers for Marcus this year.
A bevy. A little pooch kick that is not a fair catch signal. And there is some running room as he breaks a couple of runs. Ty Johnson. Ty gets about the 42-yard line of Irving. Most of the time, Mr. Nelson, we see these teams just call for the fair catch and they take over at their own 30. But Johnson decided, what the heck, I want to take off.
Well, they had him hemmed in, and then Johnson kind of accelerates right here, runs by two defenders. And a nice return.
And he's another one of those sophomores, Ty Johnson.
Yeah, they've got 7. They have 20 juniors as well, and
you know,
1 freshman.
Yeah, they do, and he's the left guard, Dominique Taylor. The last time Atkinson said he had a freshman lineman, the guy ended up going to LSU. So, and I'm looking at the size of this guy, and he is humongous at left guard. There's a pass dropped. If we can get a shot of 78, he is pretty good size for the Marauders. That pass intended for Green, number 18, the junior. The left guard, Dominique Taylor, 78, is he's a man out there. So pretty good size of an offensive line for Marcus. And let's see what Nussmeier dials up here. A little quick out. Hits Hutcherson. Hutcherson 10, maybe to the 30. The minute 17 to go, another first down. They mix it up really good, John.
Little safety foul pass, and Hutcherson had all kinds of running room. That's a nice play to the weak side.
The Marauders in their traveling uniforms, all gray, trimmed in red. You recall they won a state championship a long time ago.
It's the Buckeyes. They're back in town.
They are. The Bucks are back in town. The Bucks are back in town. Left side, Dinka, maybe a yard. Linebacker core and safety's doing a good job. Nathaniel Williams, 15, coming up from safety. Williams and Horn both play the safeties. Keaton and Guerrero are your corners. Corners have been busy. Dinka is flipped as a wingback to the near side. Now he goes in motion, almost like a jet sweep, and there he goes. They give him some running room, and he just pops out of nowhere. Has the corner, has the speed, has a touchdown.
At the horn, a 29-yard quarter-ending touchdown. And for Dinka, his 5th rushing touchdown of the year.
It started to the far side, and then he just broke loose.
Yeah, cut it back against the grain at about the 15.
Well, he just popped out of nowhere, it seemed like. They had him bottled up, and then all of a sudden, Justin is motoring for another score. Extra point high, far enough, and good. 22 seconds left. Here's the replay.
All right, we told you how proficient he was last year, over 1,250 yards of rushing. The door shut there, cuts it back against the grain, gets by one, gets by the outside linebacker, and is able to beat the safety at about the 5-yard line and is pushed across the end zone. And Dinka and the Marauders are rolling here in the first quarter.
Does anyone touch him, really? Maybe one guy touched him out of the whole thing. A little gentle push by Williams, but it was too late. He was already in the end zone. Man, 30 points in the first quarter, John.
Yeah, a touchdown came a minute and 20 seconds after the Tigers scored their touchdown on the Stevenson run. So they answer right back. You keep trading touchdowns, you're not going to win.
No. But, you know, you can't grow some defensive linemen in 2 minutes on the sideline, that's for sure. And that offensive line is very stellar.
Well, they've scored 4 different ways. An interception, a safety, a touchdown run, and a touchdown pass.
Oh, we have some kickoff returns, maybe some punt returns. A pick six. Well, we got a pick 6. So, yeah, we just need some special team returns, and we got all the bases covered. Heffernan will kick off again. Busy young man. Has a good leg. And that one's just going to go 5-6 yards deep into the end zone. He might have some colleges looking at him. He is a senior. Some of those other players, you know, the quarterback we talked about already, Nesserman, he just as a sophomore already has LSU and Ole Miss looking at him in Missouri just as a sophomore.
Well, Marcus, they won it all. They were state champs back in '97, class 5A school then. They beat A-Leaf Hastings 59-20 in that state championship game.
You almost have to do a Lance Brown and talk really old when you say that.
97?
Yeah. Seems like a long time ago. Stevenson. He's met by everyone on the defensive line and maybe a linebacker.
Let's pick a number.
Yeah, they stand him up. And that should be the last play of the first quarter. Unless they get this snap off in a hurry. We're down to 2, 1. There's still, the clock's down, and this play's still going to play. Finally, someone notices the clock has run out. So we finished a quarter. Marcus 23, Irving 7. Back to the second quarter in a moment. Well, we're back for the second quarter of play on this homecoming night at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium in Irving, Texas. Rob Willman with you, along with John Nelson and Curtis Stevenson in the offense. We'll try to match what they did last time and move the football. Stevenson, a little out pattern, hits Johnson. Johnson for 5. Just wrestled down to the ground. And one of the backup corners, Preston Squires, the junior DB. Got some of their second teamers out there. 3rd down and 6 now. They faked a Jackson blitz is on. They find Austin, and Austin breaks a tackle, and another. He's bounced around a little bit, but not before he gets a first down.
Well, able to step out of this ankle attempt right here, stumbles forward for 5 more yards as the pursuit catches up, and first down number 5 for the Tigers.
It's a matter of trying to outwit what the Marauders are going to do defensively, if they're going to send a linebacker off the corner or not. Jackson breaks 2 tackles, a flag back in the middle of the line, and that's usually bad news for Irving. Elrod, 54, the right tackle, slow to get up. He might have got tangled.
10 yards from the previous line of scrimmage. Remains first down.
Yep, Elrod, the one called for the boo-boo there. Halftime, we'll have the homecoming queen in her court.
And the night air filled with music on homecoming.
Got the music in you, John?
Interested in the selection tonight.
Okay. First and 20, Stevenson's got some room to run. Cuts through a couple of defenders and is swung down at the 45, so that'll give them about 8 yards to go on second down. Quick huddle, or no huddle, should I say, again. Mason wide to the near side. Boy, here's the rush again. Stevenson running for his life, and he might have got a yard. The pursuit, just outstanding for Marcus. If you notice, he got through the first line of defenders, and he looks up, and there's like 4 linebackers converging on him, and no place for him to go. And one of those linebackers, slow to get up for Marcus. That's the defensive end, John Brand, who has been all over the place here in the first half, tipping passes, making tackles at the line. And I think he got all tangled up. Let's look at the standings, and how about those Nimitz Vikings, huh, John?
Great start, 3-0.
Lead the district in points scored with 146 over the 3 weeks period. And you've got Coppell, who people, you know, both Coppell and Hebron, it seems like they picked to be 1-2. In fact, I asked Coach Atkinson, I said, are you playing for 3rd and 4th? You know, and he gives a good coach answer. You know, it's like, you know, you got to believe that every, you know, night you go on the field, you have a chance to win. You know, we try to think we're not playing for 3rd or 4th, but, you know, people that cover the sport, that's usually what you look at.
Well, Hebron put 73 on the board last week against Arlington Martin. Marcus opened up the year by losing to Arlington Bowie 25-7, then beat McKinney Boyd 41-28, and coming off a 21-7 win over Waxahachie. The Tigers were shut out by Fort Worth Pascal to begin the year, 5-0. Lost to North Garland 27-6. And then that rain delayed monsoon a couple of weeks ago here, losing to Dallas Kimball 42-22. They led at half 7-6, came out, played some pretty good football in the second half, but Kimball played ball control, and they scored on 3 of their last 4 possessions to win by 20.
The Marcus staff said that this team was not ready for that first game of the year. He said they literally, by Bowie, just got outplayed physically wise. Oh, here's the blitz. They try the screen pass up the middle. We're going to have 2 fouls here. We're going to have a roughing the passer call against Brooks, number 9 for the Marauders, and Stevenson is still down on the ground, and he's in pain. And then you're going to have an eligible receiver downfield because all the linemen were past the line, I guess. Maybe a couple of yards on the screen pass, but Stevenson got hit really hard after the play of the quarterback.
Yeah, Damian Miller, number 17, already with his helmet on
They're
and ready to
by
come
both
in.
teams on the play. An eligible receiver downfield on the offense. Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. Those penalties all set. We'll replay 3rd down.
Let's see if we see what happens at the end of this play. He probably drives him to the ground, and that's,
Marcel Brooks lifted him up, then planted him hard. That's 15 yards in anybody's book.
So, I mean, hopefully he didn't separate the shoulder. I mean, that's what you think about because he, let's see if they stay on the quarterback here. And then there's where all the guys are past the line of scrimmage.
At least 6 yards downfield. You're allowed kind of a 3-yard area, but that was a good 6-7 yards.
I think they're going to turn him over now. Millen, who has played in a few games and has attempted 27 passes and has rushed for 70 yards as a quarterback. May be called upon to take at least a few series or maybe the rest of the second quarter before Stevenson.
Just hope it's not an area to the ribs.
Yeah, look, he's holding that shoulder. Let's hope it's not a, we're not going to guess, but it's not looking good. That's usually not an area that you can come back in. Ribs, shoulders. So is Millen going to come out there, or are they going to run the Wildcat? I think they are, because I think Millen is still being benched for at least a half. So yeah, they're going to go back to that lineup that they started the game with, and you've got Scanzania and you've got Scott, Castaneda and Scott back there, but Jackson, number 22, who's the tailback, you've got him running the Wildcat. Straight handoff, he goes right. Pursuit catches up with him. There's another penalty flag. And, you know, Marcel Brooks may be, if it's him or Barr, the 8s and 9s look pretty much alike, or maybe the other Dar 5. One of those guys came around on the weak side and I think just jumped on top of the player, and that's where the flag came from in that area. So we'll wait for the officials to sort things out, but it looked like one of the DBs from the weak side came across and made contact, although they're really talking it over, John, so maybe it's not clear cut.
You know, the bad thing about that penalty, you got nothing out of it on the
There's no
play
foul
that
for
Stevenson
face
was
mask on
running.
the play.
Disregard this one. Kind of a shame you don't gain anything.
So apparently they said no face masks, no roughing. Now Irving's going to have to punt with 10 minutes to go before halftime.
Well, the drive started at the 25. It ends at the 43. So, their second punt of the night.
Bezos will stand at his own 28. This is the second punt of the night. Remember the first one, it bounced to him. So this is the first time he's punted since that one went through the wickets. Big rush. Gets that one away. A high kick, not very far, but high nonetheless. Bounces around, and Irving's going to say it touched one of the Marauders. Let's see what the officials say. Everyone on that Irving sideline saying, hey, it's our ball. I don't think they're going to get it.
Marcus, they had about 4 or 5 guys close to it, and I don't see how it could not have touched him, but apparently it did.
So that's going to put Marcus. Look at the replay again, John. I'm trying to.
Hits at the 30. It may have scraped the, well, it hit the helmet.
Yeah, it looked like it did.
Came up on Watson and got him.
Yeah, Sean Watson got away with one. All right, 1st and 10. Now they got Carter Burr, number 14, the senior, in at quarterback. He's going to get some reps. Dinka's still in there at running back, and they go left side. Nicely done as it's blocked by one of the defensive ends for Irving. That's Chris Tamayo. And that's a way to defend it.
Tamayo, hands up. What could go wrong when you get your hands up?
That's
You
right.
may get a piece of the ball.
We don't see that enough, hands up, do we?
Only dinner time. Last call.
Tamayo wears either 9 or 18. He doesn't have the same number on both jerseys. Tamayo trying to catch him from behind, almost does, and they push him out of bounds. And that'll stop the clock at 9:19 as Dinka has had a steady dose of handoffs, or they'll hit him in the flats. Robinson, one of the slot backs. Sarala in at tight end. He's already got 1 touchdown tonight. He's in tight to the right. Burr, low snap. A couple of drops across the middle. Wide open. Hits Brooks for a 1st down. to the 44 with 9:10 and counting. That took all of about 5 seconds. Just a nice little drop back. More defensive players coming in. Umanzor, number 44, is in. Also Jared Wheeler, number 8. And that is incomplete. One of the few missteps by Marcus, John, in the first half.
Well, passing-wise, Marcus averaging about 9 yards a pass. Now we see Evan Green, junior wideout. They're kind of excited about him. We talked about the quartet of young receivers that Coach Atkinson has this year.
In fact, John, coming in, 14 different players have caught a pass this year.
Oh, I hope it's not tonight.
Yeah. Ballard to the near side, and they have their version of the Wildcat, and that is Brooks with a stiff arm and 13 or 14 yards in the process and another first down.
First down number 7. Now you're going to have Brooks come out.
Both Brooks and Dinka.
Ground level, able to put a shoulder move on Victoria and pull down hard. Who was that? Ibarra? Yeah, 41.
Oh yeah, one of the leading tacklers on this team. 23 solo, 27 assists coming in. Bird just runs a little flip over to Edwards. Edwards has the blocking. First down, 5 more. They move the chains. All this coming with like a minute. I don't think they've only chewed up about a minute 10 seconds.
Middle screen to Edwards, who does have a touchdown catch this year. It's kind of nudged back, but it really didn't influence his route.
In fact, he ran over one of his offensive linemen. 2 men in the backfield. They fake one way, go to Edwards. Edwards up the middle. Score. Tyson Edwards, his second touchdown of the season. And the junior has Marcus on the scoreboard again with still 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go before the half.
Well, 4 possessions and 4 scores. It's hard to keep up with now. 29-7, about to be 30-7.
Matt Heffernan for the point after try.
You can't make mistakes, that's for sure. They knew coming in they were a pretty good offensive juggernaut. And almost hit red zone cameraman Dave. It's kind of a crisscross up the middle.
Hand off out of the shotgun position, and Edwards finds pay dirt, 25 yards out. That completes a 72-yard drive. Just making a miss.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary there, John. He really didn't have a lot of tackles to break. He just made some good moves, and they tried to grab him around with their arm and couldn't do it. And 30-7 at the 8:09 mark.
Well, these two teams have met before. The last and the only meeting prior to this one was the bi-district game back in 04, as Marcus won that game, or lost that game, 35-17.
I believe Jamal Evans was a running back in that day. Really great running back. Boy, it was fun to watch him run the football under Coach Bennett and company. Ironically, Coach Atkinson said his worst defeat that still has a bitter taste in his mouth, he lost in 2003 to Irving when he was at Keller. They led 28-7 at the half and ended up losing that game. Still remembers that. So here we go. And it's going to be Scott to the 21. And let's see if we have Millen at quarterback. I'm looking at the sideline. I'm trying to look for number 10. And I don't see if he's out there or not from this angle.
No, wait a minute, I do.
Do you? Is he
Yeah,
in the huddle?
Stevenson.
There he is. He's in the middle of the huddle. Love these high school kids. Man, they bounce back better than anybody.
And only a sophomore. One of 9.
Anderson split to the right. And we've got a whistle.
I don't know if anybody called. Yeah, they did. Able to take the timeout.
Was that Del Santos came running? Might have been him coming run out there with his headset.
It looked like they had a play to the right. They had Shane Anderson flexed out to the right. And it looked like the play was going that way.
You know, he comes from Coppell. Del Santos does. And, you know, Coppell, the Cowboys, year in and year out, always in the thick of things, John, you know, going to postseason. You know, and I asked him, I said, look, you know, it's been an uphill battle if you're a Irving Tiger program. And he said, you know, you're not a head coach, you're not competitive if you don't think you can get out there and change things. It is his first head coaching job, and he's, you know, embraced it full blast and feels like he has the right guys and buddies or coaches around him to make it better.
Yeah, it was just tough being hired in late May.
Right. Jackson in the flat. Stevenson tries to break free. He's wrestled down. Maybe the line of scrimmage. And that's about it. You know, when he gets tackled hard like that on the shoulder, I don't know. Babbage made the tackle, what kind of effect it has on him. But he said he feels like, you know, he has everything in place. He feels like, you know, the kids are excited. He goes, he actually has other kids that are coming out in midstream to want to come out and, you know, participate and play football. He goes, that usually happens when you start winning and everybody wants to be the bandwagon, you know. He says, but it's a little different. Anderson, close to the first down marker. He's going to be about a yard shy. With 7:12 to go before the break.
Able to make the catch in traffic and almost pick up a first down.
So it's 3rd and 1. Irving again goes to the quick huddle. Jackson left side, no one's touching him. Across the 40, breaks a tackle at the 45 and tripped up somewhat, but not until he gets a first down. And Squires makes the tackle, number 20. Ty Johnson over on Anderson here on the near side. Left side again, Jackson, tippy toes across midfield. Racks up another 4 yards. John, I've never noticed this, but they have the first down on both sides of the field this year. The little where it says first, second, third.
I see the marker on this side.
On both sides.
On the other side as well.
Yeah, never seen that before.
Makes it easier for short distances.
Jackson left side. Piles maybe 3. Also a new start time this year in the district. Used to be 7:30. Now they're all starting at 7.
A lot of districts have gone to the 7 o'clock kickoff. 6A and 5A.
I think a lot of that has to do with the length of the game, especially these offenses that, you know, there's not a lot of dead time. Not like the old days when you would just run, and the clock would just wear down in no time. Now with incomplete passes and hurry-up offenses, it seems to really stretch the clock, if you will. We're at 5:50 here, and a whistle and I believe a timeout by Marcus.
Marcus.
That is their first. Irving Tigers last year finished 3-7 overall, 2-5 in the district. They did return 19 lettermen. Again, it's our first look at the Tigers this year. 3 on offense, 4 on defense return. Duncanville in District 7 6A. That's the district that the Tigers and the Cardinals and the Vikings were in last year. Duncanville and DeSoto, number 1, number 2. South at number 3, and Cedar Hill, a playoff team last year at 5-6 overall.
Both Grand Prairie schools not doing too well this year. Then you got Waxahachie that's moved up to 6A.
New coach.
I think they have DeSoto this week, or they had him last week. There's a little Quick hitter, complete, good for 10 yards. That's Trey Austin again. He fumbled the football. They're either going to rule him down or not. That may not have been Trey. That might have been Tyreek Johnson, number 6. It was Johnson, number 6. Another catch for the senior. He's doing quite well in the slot. Second and very short. Penalty flag, incomplete pass. Might have been an offsides against Irving. Johnson or Anderson might have left a little too soon, unless Marcus lined up offsides. Let's hear the call.
Offsides.
Okay, yeah. So the penalty is going to be against Petaway, number 25. So I think, you know, John, if you're Marcus, you just got to say, look, we clean up the penalties, and we've had a pretty good first half.
Nice drive that started at the 21. You're right, over 40 yards now penalties.
Seems like even more. Plenty of time for Stevenson. Has a man open. Austin got tangled up a little bit. The pass a little bit behind. And it'll stop the clock at 5:15. I mean, if you're Stevenson back there, you got to have happy feet because the rush has just been on him all night.
Got to be a little gun shy after that hard hit.
So it's 2nd and 10. Jackson. Maybe 3. A big stack of Marauders. Barr, one of 3 coming off the bottom of the stack. Now they've got that predicament where it's 3rd down and more than 5. It's 3rd and 7. Got to be a 2-down territory. Bad snap. Stevenson recovers, and he's just going to take off. Question is, he just didn't have enough room to run. Actually might have lost a couple of yards in the process. I know they're high and excited on the freshman kicker, Cabezos, but at this point in time, you got to go for it. You need points. Down by 23 at the 4:44 mark of the 2nd quarter. Pretty much the same guys out there offensively tonight. Trey Austin and Anderson are split to the near side. That is Jackson in motion. And they're going to go left, or they're going to try to. Stevenson running for his life. And he's not going to get the first down.
It was dragged down into the pile.
Yeah, we're going to give Babbage the credit for that tackle, number 30, the junior. And it just seems like every time Steven has a hole or maybe just a gap to run in, it closes in a hurry. And next thing you know, he looks up and there's nowhere to run.
He looks road weary. I mean, he looks gassed coming to the sidelines.
I don't blame him. I mean, he's running for his life back there. And number 13, Garrett Nussmeyer, a sophomore, comes back in. Started the game. Dinka, one of the D1 prospects, is running back, and they just spin left and give it to Justin, and look at that hole, and look at that speed, and look at the afterburners, and next thing you know, it's about a 78-yard touchdown.
It's exactly what it is, and speed kills, and Dinka has it.
From 78 yards out.
78 yards, his longest run of the year, and suddenly it's 36-7.
Well, you can see why Division I colleges are looking at him, just because of the speed. And when he got past that first initial line, once he bolted into the secondary, there was no stopping him. So you've got some gassed players out there, and 36-7, still 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go before halftime. Extra point is good. Here's the replay, John.
All right, he had one from 29 yards out earlier in the first quarter. This one from 78 as Williams, Nathaniel Williams, he'll run out of room. And as it was said, speed kills, and Dinka turns it on right here. A little shoulder fake. His helmet never moved. You can put a cup of coffee and it wouldn't spill if you put it on top of his helmet. Wouldn't spill a drop.
A little high five as they cross the goal line. Michael Bonner, Aiden Forgay, and Jacob Hoffman, that right side of the line, just gave him such a huge hole to run, John. It seemed like every offensive lineman locked up with their counterpart defensively. Not only locked up with them, pushed him out of the way, and Justin just turned on the afterburners and took off. So we'll probably see a lot of fresh faces, I would expect, out there for Coach Atkinson and his crew in the second half.
He had 168 yards of rushing last week in the winner for Waxahachie. And tonight, unofficially, I've got him at 110.
Well, they were, Marcus predicted by the Morning News to finish 3rd in the district. If they can play defense, I have faith in their offense. I think if they can play some D, they could give the Cowboys and their arch rivals a hard time.
And Hebron.
Yeah. Here we go again, folks. This is fielded at the, about 2-yard line. It's Austin. And Austin gets the nose of the football, maybe right up at the 20. With 4:12 to go in the opening half.
This is their 6th possession. And if it weren't bad enough at 37-7, they have to kick off to begin the second half.
Insult to injury, huh?
First down 10, Irving. Ball's at 20.
Looking at that defensive front, a few fresh faces in there. I think they have their 2nd or 3rd team in on the front line. And here's Jackson just lowering the head, and boom. Take that, and picks up 12 and a first down. Yeah, they've got Minnick in there, a junior. He's playing the nose guard. So they got the lighter version of the front 3 in there, John, on the defensive line. And you can tell a little difference on how Irving's moving the football. You can see that their speed is a little bit faster. Also in there is Nwamamana, number 12. Number 6, excuse me, he's in there as well. So that's your front 3. And Jackson goes left side. First real time, they stopped him, but he gets the first down anyway.
He is a workhorse. 9 first downs for the Tigers, and Stevenson going to have to come out. Jackson, rather, banged up, a little shaken up.
I think he's tired. I would say he's tired. He's just like, So Ashton Scott, number 30, will be flanked to the right of Stevenson. First down with almost 3 minutes to go before intermission. Here comes Scott. Scott's got some room. And Scott's got a first down.
And a marker down back at the line of scrimmage.
Now that's never good. If you're an Irving fan, usually means holding.
Holding on the offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty remains, first down.
That is her 3rd penalty now, a total of 25 yards for the Tigers.
Well, it might have been against Cueva, number 62. There's not a 52 out there, I can tell at this angle.
Is Johnson back in? He is, Tyreek Johnson.
A little quick out, incomplete. Tried to hit Shane Anderson. Stops the clock with 2:53 to go.
Had to throw it over. Number 6, out on the right flat. Now 2nd wall.
Not the ideal situation for the young Tigers. Here comes the all-out rush. Somehow Stevenson is alive and gets away. He's got some room here on the near sideline. Stevenson can cut it up. He does at the 50. Beats one more guy. He could go. 30 in chase. Still leading. Count it.
67 yards. Coast to coast.
How did he get out of that, John?
Well, he picked up a great block from Shane Anderson, number 11. See if we can pick it up.
Oh, he's got to be gassed after this one, but he did his Houdini act. Thought he was going to be trapped. Breaks free. Finds an escort. What speed he still has left in his tank. He takes it. And Irving's looking for their 14th point. Low snap, bad snap. Here we go again. Kicker wisely falls on it. There goes your over for anybody that took more than 50 and a half. Here, watch it again, John.
All right, Stevenson pump fake, looks out on the right flat, nobody open. The chase is on, evades one, escapes two, able to elude a third one, and then that block, that push down by Anderson, able to spring Stevenson as he cuts it back, runs away from the quarterback, Todd Johnson, number 10, and a foot race able to beat Hayden Self. 67 steps.
Pellegrin thought he had him right there. Had two guys trying to tackle him with their arms. You know that doesn't work. And he goes the distance. Everyone else is just a spectator at this point.
From 3 yards, and now from 67.
So 50 first half points. Man, I think it's been a while since we've had 50 first half points.
He's a Prius. He can go battery or gas.
Yeah. Well, he needs to gas up right now. Give the guy some oxygen.
Yeah.
So look who's going to kick off. Shane Anderson, number 11.
First time this year, I believe he's kicked off.
Is he going to try an onside kick? What do you think?
The full windup.
Yeah, pretty good leg. It makes me wonder if the freshman hurt himself on that play. Meanwhile, Marcus can get to maybe their own 31. Now I'm looking down there at the freshman kicker, Calabezos, and he looks okay. Maybe they just decided to let Anderson get his shot at a kick. Here's the million-dollar question. Can you stop Marcus? You got to do something in the middle of that line. Umanzor is in. Hopkins is in there defensively.
Yeah, if you can get Dinka at the point of attack and at least slow him up.
Yeah, you got to wrap him up if they give it to him. A little quick pass over to Strala. Strala goes down after a couple. That's one of those dangerous plays where your own teammate hits you. That's what happened right there. A linebacker came in and hit DeQuaylen Keaton, number 24, as they were both making a tackle. You do more damage on your teammate than you do your opposition.
What's Serrano, about 6'8"?
God, doesn't he look huge? Scored his second touchdown of the year tonight. It's like Gronk out there. The fake handoff, and one of those wide receiver screens. You got to tackle. They did. They didn't have the first. Just got to make sure they don't get behind you.
Tyrese Nichols almost got him, number 99. Coming right up the gap.
Wheeler comes in. Hopkins goes out. Umanzor stays in, and Jordan Frost, who has 4 solos and 5 assists. Those are your 3 down linemen. You know, Ibarra, Sebastian 41, one of their key defensive linebackers, haven't called his name out too often. And they go in the flat to Edwards. Edwards has some good wheels too. This is a pretty quick team. De Los Santos told me this week for Irving that he needs speed. That's one thing that he thinks is missing on this squad. He needs some speedsters. And you can see a couple of times that Dinka got free in the secondary. They were playing chase. more and more Marauders coming in and out of the lineup. He's playing a lot of guys out there. Hutcherson also there. We got a very tight line on first down with the .12 to go, and they go right up the middle. They go to the outside. There's a man like a trick play. He gets a first down. It was the old fumble Rooski as Alex Fontaine picks it up and goes wide left. But he didn't score. Got a lot of yards, but didn't score.
Fontaine kind of hidden, number 17. There he is, squatting down, picks it up, and just green turf and white stripes ahead.
19, first and 10.
But there's a safety there, or a corner, Eric Guerrero, that was able to put the hit on him. So
Nice
there's
play.
48 seconds to go. Marcus has 2 timeouts. They've got a receiver over here in the corner. A little confused about where he needs to go. That's Ballard. Go right side, close to a first down. As Brooks, on a rare carry, he rushed for a couple coming into tonight's game as a wing back. And we'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go, John.
Marcus led 23-7 at the end of the first quarter. It has been a first half of big plays. Stevenson's 67-yard run, Dinka's 78-yard run, the 48-yard interception return. They have scored in about every conceivable way tonight, both teams have. Irving will be at Flower Mound, their next game at Flower Mound next week. And then we're back here, our ICTN Game of the Week, the Cards and the Tigers on the 12th. Close out the season at Hebron. Marcus, their next game, they'll entertain the Vikings of Nimitz. They close out the year hosting the Fighting Farmers of Louisville.
Still got some of the starters in offensively on the line.
At least 4 of them.
Yep, yeah. Nussmeier.
Taylor there, 78.
Yep. Quarterback. He sends Edwards in motion. Watch Edwards in the flats. Instead, they go across, and it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the Tigers as they were trying to go to Gus Sarala. And right there, just hauling back and just kind of playing safety, if you will, was Michael Molina, number 42, the sophomore. Johnny on the spot. Stops the drive with 18 seconds to go. Watch 42, John.
Yeah, Sarala was open, and then number 42 from the left side, well, he just holds his ground, just reaches up and takes it away, so they weren't able to get it to the big target, Sarala. It was underthrown.
Needed just a little more air in that pass.
First turnover tonight by Marcus.
One of the officials got caught up in the middle of that, and took him a while to get his legs to get back underneath there. 18 seconds to go. I would not do anything foolish if I was the Tigers. Sure, you want to score points, but they go up to Jackson. Jackson right side. Jackson corralled past the 20 with 11 seconds to go, and I believe Irving's going to call time. It appears that the Marauders have, for the most part, kept their second team out there, John.
Double checking to see.
They got a few starters. Espinosa at corner, yeah. Kapler plays the nose tackle. He's 55. He's in there. A lot of other fresh faces, though, on the front line. But you got 11 seconds to go. And if you're going to pass, you have to pass in a hurry. Halftime, John Nelson will have some highlights, and goodness gracious knows we've got a lot to choose from.
Pick one out here.
And a lot of stats. Hope he has enough pen and paper, because John doesn't believe in computers. His phone is circa 1998.
Can't do it.
Here we go. They had Jackson in motion. They're going to go right down the middle, and it is picked off. Intercepted by 17, Fontaine. If you're Irving, if you can just stop the guy, and they do, as time runs out. So all it is just stats and turnovers and nothing but paper and pencil to end the half. 37-13, Marcus on top. Let's hold everything. And now the official finally deems it halftime. So we'll take a break.
37-13 on this homecoming night at Irving High, the district opener for both teams, as we head to the field and honor our homecoming queen this year, Miss Zachariah Hooper.
He is the son of Laura Fernandez. He is being escorted by his mother and sister, Laquita Caldwell. Anthony is on the football team and plans to play for the NFL. Princess Loida Trejo. Loida is the daughter of Jesus and Adan Trejo. She is being escorted tonight by Fatima Trejo. Loida likes helping people out whenever they're going through hard times. She plans to go to college and become a psychologist. Prince Marcos Romero. Marcos is the son of Natalie Gonzalez and Jesus Araiza. He is being escorted by his mom. He is part of AVID and enjoys playing soccer. Marcos plans to attend Baylor University after graduation. Representing the sophomore class, Princess Alessandra Bustos Rivas. Alessandra is daughter of Minerva Bustos. She is being escorted by her sister, Jacqueline Bustos, and her mother. Alessandra is a member of Debate Biomedical Interact Club and AVID Club. Right after high school, Alessandra plans to study at Rice University and become a pediatrician and hopefully be in the top 10 of her graduating class. Prince Nathan Rodriguez. Nathan is the son of Juan Rodriguez, who is escorting him tonight. Nathan plays football and plans to attend college. Princess Annette Romo. Annette is a daughter of Lorena and Everardo Romo. She is being escorted tonight by her mother. Annette plays in the Mighty Irving Marching Band and is a member of HOSA. She plans to graduate top 10% of her class and attend Baylor University, where she will pursue a career in medicine. Prince Zeke Cordova Roman. Zeke is the son of Sandra and Ezekiel Cordova, who are escorting him tonight. Zeke is in band and serves as sophomore class president and is in academic decathlon. He plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin and major in psychology. Representing the junior class, Princess Shaylin Langford. Shaylin is daughter of David and Tiffany Martinez. She's being escorted by her father tonight. Shaylin is a toy tiger and plans to study nursing and become a labor and delivery nurse. Prince Ray Bazaldua. Ray is son of Carolina Bazaldua. He is being escorted by his mother. Ray plans to attend UTA and major in mechanical engineering. Princess Claudia Lozano. Claudia is a daughter of Rosalba and Jesus Lozano, who are escorting her tonight. Claudia is a varsity cheerleader and wants to finish high school at the top of her class so she can attend UT Austin to study medicine. Prince James Morris. James is son of Tamika Jones and James Morris. He is being escorted this evening by his mother and sister, Jemiah Morris. James is part of AVID, basketball, and theater. He plans to go to college and start a business. Representing the senior class are Queen and King nominees. Queen nominee is Jacqueline Ledesma. Jacqueline is a daughter of Elizabeth Saldana. She is being escorted by her mom and brother, Giovanni Ledesma. Jacqueline is part of Tiger Fever, Student Council, Interact Club, and Irving Competitive Cheerleading. She plans to major in English. King nominee, Eric Garcia. Eric is the son of Guadalupe Garcia. He is escorted by his mother and older brother, Emilio Garcia. Eric is an AP scholar and is in the Rotary program. He plans to attend UTA as an engineering major. Queen nominee, Zakoria Hooper. Zakoria is a daughter of Eric and Shannon Hooper. They are both escorting her tonight. Zakoria is an active member of Tiger Fever and theater. She plans to attend college and major in theater. King nominee, Daniel Rubalcaba. Daniel is the son of Ofelia Rosales and Macedonio Murillo, who are escorting him tonight. He is the vice president of the class of 2019 and is a toy tiger escort. Daniel plans to go to UNT and become a fashion designer or major in social media marketing. He wants to make the world a better place. Queen nominee, Alexandra Saucedo. Alexandra is a daughter of Griselda Hernandez. She is being escorted by her mother. Alexandra is a part of the Tiger Fever, band drum major, senior class historian, Avid Club, and Interact Club. Alexandra plans to go to dental school after high school. King nominee, Joe Rucker. Joe is the son of Evangeline and Donald Joe Rucker. He is being escorted by his teacher, Frank Hauser. Joe is in ROTC as a battalion commanding officer, band drum major, National Honor Society, vice president of Interact Club, an AP scholar, and a part of the academic decathlon. Joe plans to attend Yale University to study social sciences. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. The 2018 homecoming queen is Miss Zakoria Hooper. The Queen's Bouquet is presented to her by Ms. Ana Gomez, principal of Irving High School. Our 2017 homecoming queen, Aubrey Garcia, will now crown the 2018 queen. Congratulations to all of the members of the homecoming court, and especially to Queen Zakoria Hooper.
Homecoming activities here at Irving High. Homecoming night, the Toy Tigers, the band, and our homecoming queen for 2018 has just been crowned, Miss Zakoria Hooper. She marches off and joins the rest of her court. So let's pick up the first half highlights. It's 37-13, Marcus on top. The Irving Tigers fell victim to a safety early, trailed 2-0. And then Sarala on the receiving end of this touchdown pass. Gus Sarala, that came with 7:38 to go in the first. It's 9-0 Marcus. Then the interception return by Tyler Gainey as he takes it 48 yards the other way. Gave Marcus a 16-0 lead midway through the first quarter. Tigers get on the board, their third possession, completing a 55-yard drive. Curtis Stevenson able to get to the pylon from 3 yards out. That made it 16-7 with 1:38 to go in the first quarter. Then a handoff to Tyson Edwards. Edwards with a shifty turn as he navigates 29 yards. That's Dinka. Justin Dinka from 29 yards out. Here is Tyson Edwards from 25 yards out to make it 23-7. The Irving Tigers come right back on their fifth possession as Stevenson able to go 67 yards. Picks up a couple of blocks, cuts it back here to about the 25, and takes it the rest of the way with 2:32 to go in the first half. 37-13 as that completes the scoring for Marcus and the Irving Tigers. Dank with a couple of touchdown runs, Edwards with another one for Marcus. Marauders picked up 13 first down. The Irving Tigers collected 7. Marcus in the passing department, 9 of 11 with 1 interception, 163 yards up top, 191 on the ground, a total of 354. And the 1 turnover, they were flagged 5 times for 40 yards. The Irving Tigers, aside from their 11 first downs, Stevenson 9 of 13 in the passing department, picked off twice, 72 yards of passing on the ground. A pretty productive running game in the first half, 167 steps. And a total of 239 yards for the Tigers, 2 interceptions, and Irving flagged 3 times for 25 yards. With a couple of long runs by Dinka and Stevenson tonight, as we'll see the Toy Tigers. As our halftime activities have come to a close, it's all Marcus on top, 37-13. Nelson back with Rob Willman here at join Ralph Ellis Stadium on a Irving homecoming night. District opener for both teams. The Tigers on the short end right now at 37-13. Justin Denka, 2 long touchdown runs in the first half for the Marauders, over 110 yards of rushing. And the Irving Tigers will kick off. And we're going to see Shane Anderson again, Rob.
Yeah, second time. The place kicker looking on the sideline looks to be healthy enough, but I guess they're just going to try a different route. Meanwhile, the ball is fielded at about the 5-yard line. It's picked up by Rashad, number 21, who is tripped up across the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. We will probably see a lot of fresh faces, I think, for the Marauders by maybe the 4th quarter. We'll see what Coach Atkinson has in store. If he brings out, looks like most of the starters there, looking for 13, if he's back there at quarterback, or if it's 14, and it is number 14, which is Carter Beer, the senior.
He is 3 of 6 this year, completing 50% of his passes, 64 yards.
And he takes the first snap and throws it very quickly over into the flat to Robinson, and Robinson gets to about the 35, a nice little 7-yard pickup from the get-go. So another homecoming under our belts here at ICTN, and for the Irving crowd right now, they need some offense, but more importantly, they need the D. They need to get this offense of Marcus off the field. Carter Burr, 14, the quarterback. Justin Dinka, over 100 yards in the first half. And they give it to Dinka right there to the left side, and he's got plenty of room once again. Hauled down by Ibarra, number 41, the senior, leading the team in tackles. But not until Dinka picks up another first down.
He has gone over 300 yards of rushing now in this early season. Again, had 168 steps last week in the win over Waxahachie. And just keeps adding to his total, and he's staying in there.
Shiloh Rodriguez, number 90, now in for the D-line as Dos Santos is trying to put in some fresh guys in the interior line, but it doesn't help much. Dinka Ibarra making another tackle. Dinka gets 13, though, and another first down for the Marauders.
You know, at this point, Rob, you would think a solid ground game with a lead of 24 points. Try to establish maybe more of a running game. We see Ballard wide out to the right here on a first down.
Pretty much the starters offensively, except Justin Osborne in at left guard. A little out pass, and that bounces incomplete as he's trying to hit Green, number 18, the junior. Came in with about 6 catches. They put different things on the back of their jerseys. That's not their names. You'll see courage and all sorts of different sayings on the back of the jerseys instead of the player's real name. 2nd and 10. Wide left, there's a man wide open. Robinson, 44 yards and another touchdown. Touchdown pass for Burr. He was 3 of 6 coming in. He's got a touchdown under his belt, and when you got an offensive line like that that just gives you plenty of time and receivers that can get behind the secondary, it looks really easy sometimes.
His first touchdown catch of the year, Jaden Robinson, and just when we thought that they would establish a little bit of a ground game, Burr lights it up. He's getting warmed up.
Extra point off the end zone cameraman's forearm.
Ouch.
And it's a touchdown. The replay making it look simple here, John.
Yeah, Burr rolls out, throws back as he lets it fly wide open in the middle, getting behind the defenders at the 18-yard line. And Jaden Robinson, the junior, adds to his touchdown repertoire. The Marauders had 7 possessions. They scored on 6 in the first half. And a perfect 1-for-1 to begin half number 2.
Don't know if that was an assignment meltdown. Did the corner think he had deep help? Did the safety think he had to be in the center and not on the side? What, you know, you don't know what the assignments were, but you do know that the offensive man got behind them both. And Burr with a nice, pretty pass in the process. And
didn't take long, a 73-yard drive. 3 first downs.
Had one incomplete pass, and then he comes right back and nails the long one. A unique lineup by Marcus before they kick off. 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Everyone else gets in a bunch, and then after they get their assignment from the coach, they break and get in a line, and Irving is ready for it. They're up and now back to the goal line, spread out like they're supposed to in the return. It seems like it took a long time before the guy could kick, isn't it? A lot of time.
Yeah.
And this ball is fielded over at the 15-yard line by 82, Tyreek Nelson. Nelson to the 24, and that's where Irving will set up shop.
Their first possession of half number 2. Able to collect 11 first downs and close to 170 yards of rushing in the first half.
You're down by 31. You know you can't get it all back at once. You just have to try to give your defenders some rest as Stevenson sidesteps and hops over for maybe a yard and a half.
Took a beating in the first half and then some, slow to get up here.
Looking down in the home sideline in front of us, the defensive coordinator or the assistant coaches got the defense guys all chalkboarded up down there, trying to figure out some way to stop the bleeding. Meanwhile, offensively, Jackson left side gets maybe at the line, and Jabril Dar, the senior, one of those players that Coach Atkinson said has D1 possibilities. Number 5, last one off the pile. Here's that situation that the Irving coaches really don't want to find themselves in, and that's a 3rd down as you take a look at some of the coaching staff. 3rd down and 8. He's got time. Had 2 receivers pretty much in the same area and threw behind them both. And we'll stop the clock at 9:06.
Well, he had Trey Austin deep and then the middleman, and that's well behind him.
Is that Johnson, number 6? He's got the jersey up. I believe that's number 6, Johnson. And we got Anderson again. Now he's doing the punting duties. Do you think maybe they thought the freshman just was just a little too skittish there tonight, John?
Yeah, perhaps so. Nobody back deep from Marcus. No one within 20 yards of it. It's touched at the Marauder 29.
You know, this had a hamstring pull or something, but.
Well, I'm just wondering on the next series if we'll see Damian Millen. You talked about the quarterback situation and some of the rules that were maybe bent this week in practice that altered the first series from the Tigers. They didn't stay in the spread of the Wildcat too long, did they?
No, they didn't. Took them about a series or 2. And we've got perhaps, is there a timeout? Or are they just trying to make sure the ball placement is correct? Burr is back in there at quarterback.
Clock is right, shows 8:53. We have 7 men tonight. We've got an officiating crew of 7, led by Jimmy Carter in the white hat. Came in from Plains.
All of that just to move the ball over from one hash mark to the other.
There's the rest. Mr. Gaston, Johnson, Dinsmore, Womack, and Mark Crow.
Rashad in at running back, number 21. Burr hands off to Rashad, and Rashad goes off left tackle. Maybe a couple or two. Jordan Frost, the senior, playing one of the tackle and ends position, making the tackle at 8:35, 8:36 counting.
Again, the Tigers looking to snap a 4-game consecutive district opening loss, and trailing by a bunch.
Burr up the middle. He's manhandled and thrown down. Looks like maybe Troy Rogers, 26, one of the backers, in to make the tackle. So it's 3rd and a couple. Jarrett Brown, he's in for the first time tonight. John Ballard, a couple of wide receivers on the near side. Might be a handoff to Rashad. They fake Rashad. Burr keeps. That's a first. Kind of slides a little bit before Colin Horn finishes him off at around midfield, but it's enough for a first.
Jared Wheeler in a tackle number 8 for the Tigers.
Reese Nichols comes off. See the time there on your screen, 3rd quarter. Fake to Rashad, far corner, nice open field tackle. Well done by the free safety, Colin Horn, again, number 13, the safety. Loss of 4, nice open field tackle.
Read it all the way as he stretched it out. Colin Horn, number 13, draws a beat on it, and a sure tackle. Didn't get him high, didn't get him low, got him right in the middle. Just textbook tackle.
That's how you beat those little split screens. Cut off the angle, and you've got to make the open tackle. They go that way again. They'll be short of the first one. Well, I say that. They kept moving the pile. And unless he stepped out of bounds, the big O 87, Matt Williamson, he does pick up the first down.
Kept moving 3, 4, 5 yards, and finally picked it up. First down number 4 here in the second half.
Tyler Schott also in for the Marauders, so plenty of fresh faces here in the 3rd quarter as we're getting close to the 6-minute mark. Burr has played a lot of the second half in at quarterback. They're not shy about throwing no matter what the score. That's a little high and over the head of Brock. Stop the clock, make it 2nd down and 10. Well, we talked about De Los Santos, John, not being able to take over the team early on. You know, he had no off-season per se, and they've kind of had to hit the ground running and get everybody on the same page as much as possible. Hand off, nothing there. Oh, he's just corralled by big number 44, Nelson Umanzor. Wrapped him up, and Rashad had nowhere to go.
He'll be back next year, a junior. Umanzor able to step to the right, beat the sidestep by the guard. And nice takedown. Number 44, look quick to the right. He just plugs it up.
Yeah, he did a good job. He beat the tight end. They had a double down on the left or the right side. Had the tight end there to double up, and he beat the block and came in and made a really good tackle. Sets up 3rd and long. There they go again. There on the far corner to Rashad. Rashad, open field, nice moves. First down. That's the one thing you can say about this Marcus team is they're very quick. And whether it's their 1st, 2nd, or 3rd team running back, they all have wheels. And in that particular case, it's nothing really fancy. You just get them out in the open field and let them do the rest.
Rashad may have twisted his ankle, is hobbling off. Yeah, you get by that first wave and that screen, that's just so hard to defend.
Yeah, it's pretty much Katie bar the door after that. I noticed that both Dinka Edwards are now back in on the offense. You see there on the little flip far sideline, and he goes 10 yards before anyone touches him. Two running backs in the house. They give to Dinka. Dinka, he's got to be arrested. Look at that move. Second move. Third move. He leaves everybody sitting down wondering what happened. He scores about a 30-yard run. He hadn't seen him the whole third quarter. He comes out, touches the ball once, runs for 30-some-odd yards and a touchdown.
Well, 78-29, and this one from 29. So number 3 on the night, number 7 overall for Justin Dinka, rushing touchdown.
You know, if he played every down, he could rush for about 350 yards, I think. They use him sparingly. It's a good weapon to have. And sometimes you got to wonder, is it, you know, just being misplayed, poor tackling? It is, without a doubt, good speed. Has anybody touched him yet?
Right, I think he's sideswiped right here. Kind of an arm slap by number 25, Eric Guerrero, the free safety.
See, everyone just pushes the Tigers to the right. And with everyone's rush to the near side, he just cuts it against and uses that quick speed and good moves. Needs a little weight on him, I think, to go up to D1 caliber. But, you know, they grow pretty good after that, between that senior year in high school and freshman year in college.
You know, coming into tonight, Rob, they only averaged 80 yards of rushing a game. And Dinka has that many and more as they look at Jamil Rashad. On the trainer's table, looking at the ankle.
Yeah, if you're poor Rashad, you're like, man, it's tough enough to break into this lineup. I get the opportunity, and then I get banged up a little bit. But happy sideline over on the Marcus side, as everything they've done offensively tonight seems to be working.
2 possessions, 2 scores here to begin the second half.
They going to score 70, John?
Well, let's see. They need, what, 19, 3 scores?
Yeah, they could do it. If they keep throwing like that, they can do it. Kickoff fumbled, picked back up. Austin, left side.
There you go.
Fumbles out of bounds, that's okay. You notice the penalties have been pretty quiet here in the second half.
They have kept the flag in the pocket. They're sewn to the pocket here in the second half.
Someone went in there and just took it out of their pockets. How about that?
Well, Stevenson stays in, number 10. That's Mason, he's coming out.
Looking across the way at the Marauder defensive line. They've got a few fresh faces. Looked like a little confusion on the Irving side before that snap. Jackson. He's like, I think my offensive line was confused because he had nowhere to go that time.
Yeah, not that time. Is taken down hard by Edwards.
Skirmish after the play. I'm sure things are getting a little frustrating for the Tigers. Jackson again, right side and across the 30 and pushed back. They probably give him his forward motion, yes, right at the 30.
Be 5 yards short.
Scott comes out. When Stevenson has tried to pass, he doesn't have a lot of time. He has some big plays, though, to Johnson. He looks left, goes right across the middle, completes the midfield, a nice catch. That time by number 84, which is not on my not on my roster.
84, that would be blank.
Mr. Blank.
Right over the middle, though, Stevenson with a soft lob and a first down into Marcus territory.
Nice catch. Do a little out, quick to Bucket. Bucket close to the 40. The middle pass has worked tonight on occasion for Irving. That has been good. Second down and about 3. Jackson is out, Scott in.
Strong side left.
Yep, one receiver at the top. Stevenson has some time. Pushed out a little bit and throws that one out of bounds. The head referee right there on the play to make sure there's no roughing the passer.
Still manageable. Third down. They need short yardage, about 3.
Boy, talk about roughing the passer. That's the talk of the town in the NFL this week.
Well, unless you're Superman, how do you stop in midair? You don't.
Players say they're getting hurt because they're trying to hold up instead of making the play. Stevenson, he's wrapped up. Kerrigan, 34, the junior, played it well. Didn't let him go past him.
Roughed him up pretty good.
Yep, put him around the shoulders and threw him down. And again, Irving's facing a 4th down. Scoreboard says 3, maybe 3.5. So again, they've got Bucket to one side and Anderson and company to the near side. Trying to give it to Scott in the flat and let him make it happen. He gets one defender to miss, but he's not going to get the first down, and the Tigers will have to turn it over.
Needed about a 1.5 yards, and slow to get up is Petaway, I believe. Number 25 has just collapsed. Kendall Petaway, the junior. So a stoppage of play here with 2:16 to go in the third. Marcus has scored twice on a run and a pass.
Let's see if his leg gets caught up during the tackle. Missed tackle there, and then right, yeah, he just gets, oh yeah, the left leg gets pulled back. And it's not pretty, and it doesn't look good either.
Well, Wallstead tried to hold up. Max Wallstead, number 56. That's a lot of poundage on the lower leg.
Well, it's a little ginger, but he's up and off the field. Knowing these youngsters, you know, by the start of the 4th quarter, like in about 2.5 minutes, you'll see them out making tackles or picking off passes.
As if they just came out of the locker room ready for the kickoff. But now the Tigers have to go back on defense and a short field for Marcus.
Oh, they've got a new running back. We haven't seen this young man before, number 35, John Bordeaux. And we got a whistle. And Boudreaux will have to wait another play before he can take the snap.
I think Bordeaux has a carry this year.
And that one doesn't count because of the penalty.
Our first of the second half.
He's like, please, coach, don't pull me, don't pull me. Give me one more chance.
I've waited this long.
Burr handed off again. Nope, not this time. A little quick slant. Picked up by Hackler. Hackler gets pretty much that 5 yards back that they lost on the previous play. Hackler there, he goes out. Another player comes in. They just bring him in. Everybody gets to play. Drew Brock, 86.
What do you say, 14 different receivers have catches? 12?
Yes, 14 coming into tonight's game. And they fake to Boudreaux, going deep, got a man wide open, and he catches at the 25, makes a nice cut. Green, looks like he'll score. Oh, we got flags galore.
If it stands, 58 yards.
Was it taunting? Did he do a little taunting? Thought maybe he turned around and taunted a little bit at the defenders. Let's see what Mr. Carter says.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. Number 18 of the receiving team, the foul occurred before the score. The foul will be marked off from the 3-yard line. First down from the 18.
I believe I heard taunting come out of his lips.
You are correct, as a spotted at the 17.
So
38-yard pass.
So again, the mistakes and the flags. Watch him, he turns around and kind of gives it the no, you're not going to catch me sign. What happened to the old days? You just scored, put the ball on the ground.
Head to the bench.
Yeah, you don't even have to spike it. You don't have to dance. Not in high school, at least. Just score it. Hand the ball to the official. Go to the sideline. Wave at mom and dad, your girlfriend. High five your teammates. It's all good. You don't have to do the other.
Well, they're 8 of 10 in the passing department here in the second half. They had 163 yards of passing in the first 24 minutes.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' schedule. This is the opening week of district play. And they've got Flower Mound, then MacArthur. We'll have that MacArthur game. The Fighting Farmers. They've got the Cowboys of Coppell. Got the Nimitz Vikings. They probably have one of their toughest games, at least on paper, coming in this year, to finish out the district season against Hebron. I remember when Hebron first opened, and boy, they were salty in almost every sport. And everyone thought, you know, once they get bigger and everything kind of evens out, that they won't have the success because they were a classification smaller in the early parts of the school, in the school's history, but they've kept playing really good ball.
Brian, Coach Basil started that program.
Umenzor with the tackle, right about the line of scrimmage. Got about 28 seconds on the play clock, so we'll have another couple of plays before this one's done. Tyrese Nichols goes back in as the nose tackle. Umenzor on one side, Hopkins on the other. With it being 2nd and 10, the question is, will they hand off or go for one of those little wide receiver screens that seem to be so good? Nope, it's going to be Edwards.
Close.
Yeah. Irving says they got the ball. Ball came loose. Did not see any reaction from the officials. Yes, Tigers football.
Third turnover tonight, or second turnover for Marcus. And they hold them off late here in the third.
Molina and then Umenzor. Molina and then Umenzor. Watch him, 44. Is he the one that drags it out? It's loose there and gets away. And then number 3 comes up, Chance Malcolmesius, the senior defensive back, pulls it up, and that's a way to stop a drive. Well, that just shows you that the Tigers haven't stopped fighting. That is a forward pass that Jackson can't get to.
You want to get a little bit of breathing room down near the 8-yard line.
What are you trying to say, John?
Well, if it had been caught, it would have been a first down and maybe a little more. Now you have an inside receiver that's got some daylight here, playing in 8 yards off the line.
Stevenson went to his right. Nothing was there. You really can't stop against this team because it just seems like the pressure just comes right back, and you look up and it's like you said, you get through one wave and then another. But we finished 3, headed for 4. Marcus 51, Irving 13, back with the final quarter in a moment. All right, we've got 1 quarter of football left to play. And we're at a point in time here where I think pretty much realize that Irving's not going to be able to come back to win it, but they can work on things and try to make them better down the road. That's not a way to get started, as Stevenson has no one to throw it to. Rushed and pushed out of the pocket, and that'll make it 4th down. And I believe Anderson once again is going to be the punter.
Well, they needed a little bit of breathing room, but didn't get it.
Well, it is 4th down, and Anderson has been doing the punting, but boy, he's not very deep. There you go. Now he's going to step back some. He says, I'm just going to take one step and let her rip. Hope for a good Tiger bounce. He didn't really get it. And Marcus will take over at the Tiger 31-yard.
They've started in Irving territory 3 times tonight. Big story, though, on the ground. Justin Dinka, 3 touchdown runs, has 136 yards of rushing just on his touchdown runs tonight.
It seems like they've started in the Tiger end of the field more than once. You know, the predictions in the Dallas Morning News, they thought Coppell would be the one to beat along with Hebron. I think you can't go wrong with either two. And then you got, you know, you got both the Flower Mound schools, so.
Can Nimitz gum up the works this year?
I don't know, boy. I can't wait to watch that offense. We're shooting this on a Thursday night, so they've got a game on Friday. We'll see what they can do. They finally get the opportunity for Boudreaux to carry that. Let's see if that's 35 off the ball. And then you've got Louisville, Irving, Mack, and Nimitz. I'm telling you, I think Nimitz is going to be a little higher than that. They might be in 5th place before it's said and done.
Coppell advanced 3 rounds last year.
I want to be a cowboy.
A Coppell cowboy.
Yippee, yippee, oh yeah.
Connor Williams.
Connor needs to put on some weight. I've got a lot to give him. Boudreaux again. We've got a whistle before the snap.
Now last year, Mr. Wilman.
5 yards.
Yes, sir.
You wanted cooler temperatures.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the moon.
I see the moon.
This is a perfect autumnal evening.
Isn't she purty? Tomorrow, September 28th, first day of the State Fair. Go then, the grease is all nice and fresh. Boudreaux again, up the middle. And swung down with a might.
That's a rough house throw there.
Yeah, Shiloh Rodriguez. You know, the Tigers, they've alternated a lot of guys up front. You know, they've tried to keep them fresh. They've tried to have the guys in the middle size up against Marcus's big uns up the middle. And for a team that admitted that they were beaten pretty bad physically in their first game against Arlington Bowie, I think the Marauders offense is getting back on track. One step, we'll throw in the corner, complete. Looks like it could be good enough for a first down, and it is. Matt Williamson, second string wide receiver, in on the catch there. Look at this, it's a one step back, down and out, just need 1 foot down, had them both. It's the first down.
I think Carter Burr could start for a lot of other teams.
Yeah, I mean,
got the size, good arm.
You're a senior, and that darn sophomore comes in and ruins your swan song. Boudreaux left side, little stiff arm. Keeps the clock running nicely.
Rushing yards tonight for Marcus, 264.
You know, the thing about Irving, they've got depth at the defensive line. Everyone else has played most of the night. Malcolm Esius is still in there at one of the safety spots. You know, you got to play like 3 corners, almost 5 DBs. Tackle made by 52, nicely done. That's Hernandez, Brandon Hernandez, the inside linebacker junior. He's got a lot of valuable playing time tonight as the Tigers look to go forward. You know, it's just the fact that I think the Marauders offense is just so powerful, so many weapons. And it's just tough for this Tiger team to figure out a way to stop him. Burr also do a crossing pattern, hit his man. That was a dangerous toss, but nonetheless on the far sideline and driven down is Tyler Schott, the sophomore. Also, John, one thing about these Marcus receivers, they've all got good size.
Yeah, they got the depth, they've got the size.
And both their tight ends are humongous.
Yeah.
Sutherland and Spralla both are
great targets.
Yeah. They didn't even have Spralla down as a starter coming in. On the depth chart, he was behind Sutherland. Marcus just lets the clock run.
Just run the play.
This is
given.
Probably the longest time-consuming drive I think I've seen, and it was even a short field that they've had tonight. And look, he's doing what you should do, and that's just let the play clock run as far down as you can. Boudreaux, maybe a couple. He's stifled, the whistle blows. It'll be 2nd and goal and a fresh 40 seconds to burn. Good position to be in. I mean, this is a pretty classic game. If you've got a bench with 2 to 3 deep that you want to play and you get in as many plays and reps as possible, not all games will be this way. For Irving, it's just kind of a character builder. You know, you look up and see how far behind you are, and you can do 2 things. You can just roll over or just keep playing as hard as you can, and hopefully that's what you're going to get. Boudreaux, right side, touchdown.
Breaks off a tackle at about the 6 and takes it in, and there's point number 58. I think that's his first rushing touchdown of the year.
It is. All of these runs were his, you know, all these runs were new for him coming in. He hadn't rushed the football at all, hadn't scored any. And he caps off that short drive. Irving band still having a good time. Extra point is good. Got a little tomfoolery going on down there after the kick. Oh, there goes the flag. A couple of flags.
Well, you got some shoving, some words exchanged. It's been a frustrating night here for the Tigers as they push away Axel Victoria.
It's just after the play, and you know, you could be a close game, and this could happen where everyone gets kind of tangled up amongst the legs, and now the officials will have to decide, should he stay or should he go?
They are 10 of 17, 10 of 12 the second half.
Conduct, number 51 of the offense. 15 yards will be assessed on the kickoff. That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct for number 51.
So the unsportsmanlike will go against Marcus. Touchdown replay, Mr. Nelson.
All right, Boudreaux, he'll bounce to the outside and gets that nice stand-up block by Faven Arolia Jr. And an easy score, and 4 possessions, and 4 scores here in the second half. That short 30-yard drive, you're right, Rob, it seemed like a 5-minute drive.
That's just a prime example of how well that offensive line is coached. Ariola there just went to the second level and just sealed off that linebacker and did just like you're supposed to when you block. And that enabled the running back to get the score.
Well, they started their starting offensive line tonight. A couple of juniors, a couple of seniors, and a freshman, Dominic Taylor.
Yep, that freshman, like we talked about earlier in the ball game, only the second time that Atkinson has had a freshman start as an offensive lineman. The last one ended up going to LSU. All right, the second string kicker, Danny Duke. God, what if they were playing with the Duke like in the old days?
Double D.
Duke would hit the Duke. I have one of those at home. Oh, the kick over the head of Scott. He's going to have to pick it up around the goal line. Now he just needs to turn the corner. Almost back to the 20. So avoids a little mishap there. As we're at the 6.5-minute mark, the fourth quarter.
Make the most of the bad situation as Ashton Scott had to retreat and just try to pick up a couple of blocks. Their fourth possession here of the second half. They punt it twice, and the ball has gone over on downs, and new faces on defense for the Marauders.
Okay, I see the players. They heard the whistle, and all the officials just saying it's time to play ball. And just a couple of yards off the left side. Dallas Morning News has their 6A poll. To no one's surprise, Allen. Duncanville, who's really bounced back the last couple of years. Trinity, South Lake, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, some of the usual cast of characters. As Scott rumbles for a couple. We'll go back to that graphic if we can, Scott. The Yellow Jackets are Rockwall, the Arlington Colts, Cowboys, Volunteers, and then Hebron down at 13. So it's third and nickel. Irving trying to go deep, hit the home run ball, and that is almost intercepted. They tried to hit Anderson. Back in coverage was Jake Young, senior defensive back.
Tigers 3 for 7 in passing in the second half. That pass had no chance of a completion. He was double teamed. That was fading more towards the sideline. It would have been a very difficult catch.
Well, you see Shane Anderson, the sophomore. If he lines up back there, it usually means he's going to punt. And once they line up, he'll take about 3 steps back, usually. 1, 2, no, only 2. He'll take a snap and go. You know, maybe they're worried about the center. I mean, that was a pretty rough snap right there. And the thing is, Anderson can take it and kick it pretty quickly. So he's a great option. Got a good bounce there. There's no one for Marcus was back to field that one. You see the time on the clock. Homecoming, not a good one for these Tigers. They'll have to lick their wounds and pick up the pieces, and got a couple more tough games. We'll see them in 2 weeks against MacArthur. MacArthur's interesting. They've kind of been down for a few years, but won a couple here. The first time to see them on ICTN for this season. Well, everybody went but the center. Then you start pointing fingers.
One this way, the other way, it'll be 5 yards.
Ball start on the offense. 5 yards, remains first down.
That gives Marcus tonight 8 penalties for 65 yards.
First and 15, closing in on 5 minutes to go. Third string quarterback J.P. Irwin now into the lineup. Irwin seeing some action for the first time.
Quarterback is number 15.
Needed a bigger spotting sheet.
Well, he'll be the 5th quarterback listed now on the depth chart that has seen action.
So Irwin, and we might get a heavy dose of Boudreaux again, number 35. And we do. He's stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Well, this series will be all even up. Tigers defeated Marcus in the playoffs in 2004 by a final score of 35-17. So the Marauders and the Tigers even up their all-time series. One each.
And now Marcus is just taking a nice, slow, methodical effect on the ball game and put this one in the books in their favor. Irwin just spins left. He drove Matt at the line of scrimmage.
John Leroy again.
Everybody plays tonight that suited up.
And that's good.
You know, it's like going to a baseball game with a crowd of 4,000. What a great chance to get a foul ball.
Oh, yes. Those were my favorite games back in the early days at the old Arlington Stadium.
What a great chance to play tonight if you're a Marcus Marauder.
I'd sit down there by the old, remember when they had the bullpen down the left field line? I'd sit down in that section. There'd be nobody there. I knew what section to get. I'd request the tickets.
Thinking ahead.
Yep.
You see some good ball?
No.
No, I mean some good ball. Oakland, Yankees.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Oakland was good. Very good back in the day. Yankees not good.
Kansas City was just starting to put it together.
Unless you're carrying a field pass.
Let's see what's up next. Flower Mound Marcus. They'll have Nimitz. Can't wait to see how that unfolds. They'll have Hebron. Man, they've got Hebron, Coppell, and then their arch rivals. Battle of the Mound.
With the Hawks.
Louisville. Hebron is, yes. So a timeout taken. Only one left for Marcus. They need him. He's going to use him here. This kid's what he expects on fourth down. And a rare punting opportunity.
Not many tonight. Two.
I believe they even have their backup punter. I believe. Garrett Smith, yeah, Garrett Smith is the backup punter. He's going to get a chance. If you don't get a lot of these, you know there's butterflies. Good snap. It took a while to unleash that one. And it gets past Scott. He's very wisely going to let that one go. So probably about one more possession left for these Tigers.
I got Marcus with over 500 yards of total offense. 506 tonight, 21 first downs.
I can see that. I can see that. They're just penalty called.
Oh, we don't need another flag.
Yeah, against Irving in the process. And you could just see the frustration in De Los Santos's face after they called that.
Number 5 is a 15.
Must have been an unsportsmanlike to move it back that far. New quarterback in, Damian Millen, number 17. Millen just hands off to Kevin Martinez. Martinez will have a couple of yards on the stat sheet.
Yeah, let's see. Mr. Millen this year is 10 of 27 in the passing department, 92 yards. A completion rate of 37.
Averages about 4.5 yards a rush. They need to put that to the test, although he gives to Rodriguez again, or Martinez again. Martinez will stay in bounds. Less than a couple.
Ty Johnson with a nice tackle, almost squatting down the sophomore cornerback. Marcus.
My spotting sheet is not big enough to put everybody on there.
Well, we've got 5 games left.
You know, they gave us a 2-deep chart, which is pretty nice. But they've gone 3 or 4, I think, deep tonight.
Vegas, senior, nice stop. Yeah, it's been above and beyond the spotting board homework for tonight.
Both bands still having fun, playing some tunes. Right side again. Martinez wiggles his way past the yardsticks.
Got the first down, number 13 tonight.
Boy, you know it's rough when you see one of the drill team members on crutches. It's rough out there tonight.
Rough night.
Yes, it is.
She'll be hampered next week in practice.
Can't do the high kicks. You might hurt someone. She might put out a 9. Well, we got about one more play left in us.
Them or us?
Yeah, them. And we're not far behind. I mean, really, they don't have to snap the ball again if they don't want to. And Martinez goes right up the middle. And that will put a cap on this one. As Irving loses their district opener, 58-13 to Marcus.
Tigers go to 0-4, 0-1 in the district. 3-1 start for Marcus, but more importantly, a district win as they go to 1-0. They led 37-13 at the break and added some more in the second half, winning by 45 tonight. Both teams line up single file in midfield and congratulate each other as the Tigers look ahead to next week. We're back with a final break and a look at the highlights and the stats right after this.
And a beautiful, almost full moon over the Metroplex on this late September evening, the 27th of September. A beautiful night, except if you're an Irving Tiger. And it was, boy, it was tough out there tonight. They had a lot of Marauders running past them. But there were some bright spots, too, some moments for them to build upon. And this is the quarterback keeper here, Curtis Stevenson, with the touchdown. Got a really nice block there in the corner back in the first half. And this is probably his best play of the night yet, by far his best play of the night, when he was really almost just sacked behind the line of scrimmage. And then he went over 60 yards for the touchdown. He got some good downfield blocking, a stiff arm there, and then outrun the defender into the end zone for the touchdown. And really the highlight play of the game offensively for these Irving Tigers. And although the score might not reflect it, the defense did have its moments. They didn't give up. They played really hard all the way to the end. Good, nice play here where they stripped the football and got it back defensively. So maybe that will be something they can look at going forward. Here are the final statistics. The Marauders, of course, you know, with over 500 yards of total offense. The Irving Tigers almost 300 total yards themselves, but a couple of turnovers, and the Marauders with 8 penalties. It seemed like they had over a dozen. They had 3 or 4, it seemed like, just in the first quarter of play. They have to clean that up. But for the Irving Tigers, it's just too much offense. And in the end, they come up short 58-13 against Marcus in their district season opener. Next week, Flower Mound Marcus will take on the Vikings, the Red Hot Vikings. We'll see what they do on Friday. Could be a couple of undefeated teams in district play. Meanwhile, Irving will have to go to the other Flower Mound and take on Flower Mound for their second district game. This was homecoming for the Irving Tigers, but a sad end at that to start off the district season. Still plenty of games to go. Again, the final 58-13. Marcus victorious over the Irving Tigers. For John Nelson, I'm Rob Willman. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time on the ICTN Game of the Week.